how do you say? What are those? I don't know the
quotation marks.
Yeah, thank you. My business is called Berglinde, by the way. If you're interested, have a look. You can also find the newsletter there that I write weekly. Started to add some video and audio content as well. So yeah, that's where I work on advising businesses. So I want to build a Bitcoin B2B business. That's clear. I'm not going into the B2C space. That's more also a learning from my past experience. I think I'm better in long-term relationship building instead of big growth marketing, which is a super nice skill, but I'm just not as good as I wish to be. So I said I will focus on a B2B business. And I basically said, okay, I have 3 steps. First is education. That was at least my hypothesis. So I start with educating people. Then I go into consulting. And then based on that, ideally, I will build a product out of my own cash flows. So when I said the product piece, the product side of things can easily wait 2-3 years. So I wanted to build the education and consulting business in the next 2 to 3 years, and then slowly but steadily merge into a product. So I wanted to. It's also one of the things that I learned from Bitcoin. So I have a much longer time preference now. So I also said at home, we agreed that I basically plan to retire with this company now. So I'm not. I mean, never say never, and ask me in a few months or years again. Things can change, but right now I plan to work on it for the long run. And therefore, yeah, I try to now generate enough cash flow so I can sustain, I can pay myself, and then build a team based on that, and really that helps bringing Bitcoin to the business world essentially in one way or the other.
You knew you wanted to go into the Bitcoin space, and now that you've been in it for a few months, what are sort of the biggest hurdles you see now? Because you still have to engage with the fiat world, but you're already engaging with the Bitcoin world. And there's always going to be compromises between these things.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, that's one of the things that I anyway think is a mistake that we see a lot. Like a lot of people think in black and white. Mm-hmm. A lot of people think everything is binary, so you're either in this or in the other, and that's not the reality. The reality is there is a lot of gray, and there are a lot of bridges that can be built. And so I started with my Bitcoin business, and as I said, I wanted to bootstrap it. So that's why I thought, okay, I put money aside, but it still needs to generate some revenue at one point. Cannot just do everything.
You cannot sell the orange McLaren.
No, exactly. Yeah, I wish. No, so I thought I will start with education and consulting, and then consulting. My dream would have been to be a consultant for SMEs and help them to go on a Bitcoin standard. And so now what I did is I started with multiple projects. So now I have 4 projects. So I'm actually very happy about how it goes commercially. So that's nice. That goes okay. But those 4 projects are in completely different directions. so that's where I'm struggling a bit. So I have, for instance, I help a startup in business development and fundraising. And then I work with a bank, kind of helping them understanding Bitcoin and also what they can do with their Bitcoin and with their Bitcoin offering. There I see
maybe you can advise Germany at the moment, because they're doing well, providing more Bitcoin for us plebs.
Yeah, that's true. Exactly. And then I have one project in the mining space. So a solar expert that is looking into how mining works in combination with solar panels and the battery. So that's very interesting. But I have to admit, like I understand the mining process. I understand very little of the actual energy grid and how energy works. So that's challenging for me, but I'm getting into it. And then the last one is an actual SME that wants to put Bitcoin on their balance sheet, but also work with Bitcoin. So my challenge right now is that I have 4 completely different projects, and I took the decision to start with my company in May and gave myself until the end of Q3, until the end of September, to really narrow it down, then to really say, okay, so this is going to be my focus. This is going to be my focus. And so that's one of the things that I'm struggling a bit with. And then we do have some ideological challenges now as well, because one of the things that I can clearly see is, for me, there is a lot in question in how do you say, what are those? I don't know, the
quotation marks.
Yeah, thank you. And there is some money to be made within the traditional financial world, and that's likely a lot easier than advising SMEs. So that's one of the things that where I see challenges, right? If you don't offer your own product, like if I see a lot of potential amongst businesses, but that potential lies in brokers and maybe custodial services. You need to offer a product. Just advising them, it's like a half an hour thing, right? And then it's like, what can you do? It's say, okay, you can charge a bit, but it's tricky. It's tricky to build a sustainable business just with advising SMEs that need 1 hour work, and then are also probably not willing to pay $1,000 for this 1 hour, right? So that's challenging. That's one of the things that I'm thinking about now, how I could do that, because clearly my passion, the biggest passion, my passion is Bitcoin, but my biggest passion business-wise would be working for SMEs, because there I feel close to a lot of carpenters and painters and like people that are actually providing value to our society. So I feel I connect very well with them, and I would love to do something with them, for them. And so, but I haven't really figured that out yet. But as I said, I still have 2.5 months.